Just going to share my screen so you can see a PowerPoint. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Tara. I work at Advancing Opportunities, and part of Advancing Opportunities is a technology lending center. Hopefully today, after today, it will be a little less of a secret than it's been. So what we're going to talk about a little bit today is just a little overview of assistive technology. Then we'll talk about some tools we have here at our lending center and how the lending center works, and plenty of time for questions. So we'll give time at the end, but if anything pops up and you want to ask while it's still fresh, please feel free. Okay, so Advancing Opportunities, we offer some assistive technology services in addition to our lending center that I'm going to talk about today. We also have assistive technology evaluations and trainings. We work with the Department of Developmental Disabilities, the Department of Vocational Rehab, the Traumatic Brain Injury Fund, and various different school districts all throughout the state. We serve all disabilities. And we also have mobile services, meaning our physical location is in Willingboro, but our employees live all over the state. And so we serve the whole state, and we come to you, either to somebody's home or to their school or whatever works best for the situation. Okay, so it's just a little definition of assistive technology to kick us off on our overview. Is any piece of equipment or product system, whether acquired commercially, modified, or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of persons with disabilities. So I guess the real thing we want to drive home is that it can be anything, including low, middle, and high tech. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in another slide. Okay, so Conceptual Framework best practice. This helps us to find the right tool that will help a person. So we look at both, we look at low, medium, and high tech. So maybe somebody is best helped with something kind of high tech, like a iPad or something like that. But maybe somebody just needs a low tech. Like right now, my laptop is propped up on a little monitor stand so that you can see my face instead of the top of my head. We also consider different services that might be available to a person, whether they need a full evaluation or just some consultation, training, tips. And with all those ideas together, we come to the feature matching, where we can try to find the best device and also plan for a person. Okay, so what is the Lending Center? That's what we're all here to talk about. I'm the Lending Center coordinator. So any questions you have, anything you need, please reach out to me. I have my contact information coming up. But the Technology Lending Center is basically a place where people can try equipment before they buy. So if you want to try something out, you don't want to spend the money, you can test it out, see if it'll work. And this way you don't have to, you can always send it back if it doesn't work and try something else. We're funded by a grant from DRNJ, which means that our lending center is free to any New Jersey resident. And as mentioned, we have for everything from low to high tech equipment available for borrowing. So the next thing I want to talk about is the process for borrowing equipment. So the first thing that a person would have to do is become a member. You can become a member on our website, which is right here. It's assistivetechnologycenter.org. Or you can become a member by contacting me. So this is my email address, and I'll put it in the chat later in a few. I'm T. O'Neill at advopps.org. This is my phone number. This is direct line to me, to my desk. It's 1-888-322-1918, extension 536. So any of those will get you registered. To register, I would just need to know a person's name, mailing address, and phone number. And with that, you can tell us what it is you'd like to borrow, or maybe an idea of what you're looking for. Okay, after that, anything that's borrowed is shipped through UPS. So even if Willingboro is miles and miles away from you, we'll send it anywhere in the state through UPS. Items are on loan for 6 weeks at a time. So the loan period is 6 weeks, and that's just so everybody can get a turn. And when we ship things out through UPS, I'll include a little loan agreement. And the loan agreement is basically a list of everything that's borrowed and the due date. So that helps everyone keep track. And I'll also include a return shipping label. So to send the item back, you can just stick that label on the same box, bring it to any UPS or UPS access point and send it back. Okay, so next, does anyone have any questions so far about the process or anything like that?
Yeah, is there any kind of vetting done beforehand?
Vetting as in
Again, like evaluating the actual need of the person. I mean, like, do they have to prove that they have a disability? I mean, how do they go about with that? Is it like the usual, you know, presenting documentations, etc.?
not to borrow from our lending center.
Right.
Anyone in the state can borrow.
Okay, okay.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about are some of the devices that we have. I saw a question that, do we lend OrCam devices? We don't have any right now. But we are in touch with some people from OrCam. If that's something someone wants to borrow, we might be able to put you directly in touch with them. Some of the items we do have. Okay, so I want to talk about everything from low to high, because some people are a little intimidated by technology, and I just want to kind of drive it home that it can include everything. Sorry. Okay, so these are example of some low-tech items. We have like a wrist rest here, one for a keyboard, one for a mouse. This is a grabber, can help reach things either far away or that are on the ground that you would have to bend over to get. These are some pencil grips, school starting soon. This is an easy open canister, so instead of unscrewing it, you just push that with your finger and it pops up. And this is a key opener to help hold the key. Some mid-tech items we have. We have this SteadyWear lift spoon. So the spoon is for people who have tremors and it kind of helps stabilize it. We have different timers. This is a vibrating timer called the Invisible Clock 2, can help with concentration, maybe students who have ADHD. We have switches, all kinds of different switches. There's another slide with just switches on it coming up. Some digital recorders, also really big for back to school, college students, some book readers. This is an AAC device, a quick talker. And this is a C pen, a reader pen. So this is designed to help people with dyslexia or other print disabilities it reads a sentence out loud, or it can also just read a word and give you the definition. And then getting into high tech, we also have some smart home devices. So this is an Amazon Echo Show. We have smart pens. We do have live scribes. The Echo has been kind of tricky to purchase lately. So we also have another brand called Neo. This is a picture of that. So as you take your notes, they're uploaded to an app. We have mice. This is a head mouse here, just an example. Some smart plugs. This is an example. And of course, iPads, things like that. Chromebooks. Okay, so then the next couple of slides I have are just examples of devices we have. This isn't everything. It's just kind of to give an idea maybe of like the gamut that we run. And on our website, it's currently under construction, so it's getting worked on, but there are also a lot of items on there that will give you an idea of what we have. But any questions, you can email me, call me, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So these are just some examples of the mouse alternatives that we do have. So this is like an eye gaze mouse, PCI. We have the Joust here, which is like a mouth control. We have a RJ Cooper mouse box here. Some big track balls here, some that are switch adapted with these switches plugged into them. Some joysticks, the Enabler Pro. Finger mouse here, and a vertical mouse, which I've had a lot of people borrow lately, I guess, with working from home and a lot more time on the computer. They're feeling a little bit, they're feeling it more and using the keyboard and mice more. These are some keyboard alternatives we have as well. We have big keys, both this kind, so the kind that are like kind of colorful, and also these plain gray ones. We also have key guards, which a lot of schools have been borrowing lately. Some vision assistive keyboards, different size keyboards as well, small, large, wireless, wired, and then also some typing aids to help with the keyboard. We have lots of different switches as well. These are just some examples I thought that would be good to use to show. These are like pad pals, so they're very, very thin. A micro light switch, which is very, very easy to push. This is a proximity switch, a candy corn, so it's hard to tell. This person's not actually pushing it, they're kind of just hovering right over it. Different types of button switches. This is a pillow switch, so if someone's using their head, it's a little bit softer than this hard plastic. And this here is the ultimate switch, which is basically, you know, this is like a kind of like a wobble or a joystick here. You could just hit this from using various different body parts, wherever it fits, wherever it works. And this is a gooseneck here, so it's twisty, you can move it around. Okay, we also have switch toys. Get a lot of requests from preschools and teachers of younger students who are interested in using a switch with their student for the first time. They might want to try out one of our switch toys or a couple of our switch toys to see what the student likes and what will work. We have some plush toys. We have the piggy and the giraffe. We also have a dog and a cat and a horse. We have some Elmo toys, and we also have some bubble toys. So these are switch activated, where a student will push the switch and that'll make it turn on instead of the on off button that is usually used on these kind of machines. We have the bubble toy like this. We also have one that's shaped like a train. And this is the totally blanking, all that glitters by enabling devices. So it has visual feedback as well as auditory, and it's pretty popular. A lot of preschools have been reaching out to borrow this. We also have communication devices. So these are some examples that we have of single and multiple message systems. We have the Big Mac. We also have step-by-steps. Then we have here, we have some that have 2 buttons, some that have 3, some that have 4. And we also have some different Go Talks as well. Go Talk 9, this is a picture of the 20. We also have, in terms of communication, we also have some iPads that have communication apps already purchased on them. So that way someone can try it out, because some of those apps are kind of pricey, like Lamp Words for Life and Touch Chat. And we also have a couple of standalone multiple message devices. So this is the Tobii Dynavox. I think this is the i12. We have an i13. Okay, then we have things for low vision, activities of daily living and hearing. We have digital magnifiers. I think the spoon I showed a little bit earlier in one of our slides. This is a bowl that has little legs on the bottom, so it's much more difficult to flip over. Talking phones, also phones with these enlarged buttons, and FM system. We also have smart home devices that are available for lending, which again, these can be kind of pricey, so someone can try it out, see if they like it. They can even compare different ones before they make the commitment to purchase one for themselves. This is an Echo Dot. This is an Amazon Fire Cube. This is a Google Home. These are some different smart plugs that can be controlled using any of these hubs. And then this is a new thing that we purchased recently called a SwitchBot, and it's designed to turn something that's not adapted into a smarter device. So this is like a regular old push light switch, and with the SwitchBot on, you can use your phone to turn that light on and off, or anything with an app, iPad. Okay, so also we can help you find some accessibility features that may already be built into a device that you're using. So a lot of devices now will have some zoom abilities, some magnifying built in, dictation, text to speech, things like that. So we can help you find something on your computer, your laptop, Chromebook, whatever it is you're already using that might help you out as well. And for anyone who has borrowed from us before or kind of browsed the Lending Center before, we have been making new purchases based on demands from consumers as well as from our employees, what they feel would help them to try out with different people. So these are some of the new things we've purchased in like the last, say, 3 months. This is a Zono. It's a mouse that basically it has a gyroscope in it. So someone could use this to control their computer. Here it is shown, you would wear this on your head, but you don't have to wear it on your head. You can really wear the QHA anywhere on your body that works for you. This was a smart pen alternative I mentioned a little earlier. This is an example of a Neo smart pen. This is a Tekla. It's another hands-free way to control a computer or an iPad. And we've also gotten a switch adapted Xbox controllers. So keeping in mind that, you know, recreation and play is also important. And if anyone has any questions, I'm just going to jump to the next screen so you can see my contact information while we do that.
You had said that it was like, you know, you loaned them out for 6-week periods. So is there like a limit to how many, I mean, can they renew it after 6 weeks, or do they have to return it and then borrow it out again?
As long as no one else is waiting for it, we can renew the loan.
And then when it comes to returning the device, do you provide like labels for it to be returned?
Yes. When I ship it out the first time, I'll include a return label. And if anybody loses it, I can always email it or mail it through the post office.
Right. And what is the policy where it comes to items that are lost or broken?
We do try to be very understanding. I mean, sometimes, you know, a UPS box gets crushed, things like that. So we do ask that people be responsible for what they borrow.
Jara, what's the process if you want to request something that's not in the library?
You could reach out to me if it's something that a lot of people would get used of. We can look into adding it. Yeah, but so we are in a process of purchasing now. We're purchasing to expand the Lending Center.
Okay, thank you.
I see a message in the chat. What if someone wanted to purchase an adapted device? We don't have anything for sale here, but I could always tell you where we bought it from. I could give you the store, the link, or all that.
Tara, did you say the website's not working now, but when it's working, you can actually search for items?
It's working. You can search now. We're just in a process of maybe removing some old items and replacing them with the new things we bought in the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Now, this is only for New Jersey residents, is that correct?
Yes, that's New Jersey. Yeah.
There is a lending center in every state.
Thank you. Good point.
Thank you.
I could get you that address.
I see a question in the chat about assessment for accessible vehicle needs. Unfortunately, no, that is one that we don't do. Possibly, and I know DVR does, but if anybody knows anyone else who might. Oh, someone suggested Kessler. Thank you.
Do you do larger items as well, such as adapted wheelchairs?
No, wheelchairs we don't have. We usually suggest maybe trying Goodwill Home Medical. They might have something available. We
Right.
do have some furniture in-house. It is tricky to ship. Usually one of our specialists might use it in more of an evaluation, but we do have a couple of chairs, and you know, we could always work something out if someone's in the area or we're going to the area and they really want to try one out.
Thank you.
What would you say is your most popular items?
I think most popular would be iPads, just because so many different groups of people use them. Schools use them, individuals use them. So it's pretty popular. Speech therapists use them. But outside of that, I've gotten a lot of requests lately for keyboards, either a larger keyboard or a keyboard with a key guard, or a standard keyboard with a key guard. The vertical mouse has been pretty popular. The QHA has been very popular since we purchased it. And the switch adapted toys, I would say, are pretty popular as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Tara, how do you spell QHA?
QUHA.
Q-U. Thank you. And can you tell me a little bit more about the SwitchBot, how it works?
The SwitchBot.
For the light switch, the
Oh,
smart home.
sure. It is very small. It's a little small square. And it has two different modes. So one mode would be just to push like a button, like an on button on your computer, say, where it's just a button and you can push it. And you use the app, and when you tell the app to turn it on, it'll push the button for you, and then it retracts back so it doesn't keep the button down. And then it also has something called switch mode, which is what's used with the light switches, where you use a piece of adhesive and stick it to the light switch so that it can turn it both on and off. So when it's, let's say, turns it on, it might push it in, but then to turn it off, it will use the adhesive to pull it back.
Huh. So it has a little arm that mechanically moves.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool.
It is pretty cool.
Tara, this has really been great and informative. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Anytime. Any more questions? We do want to be mindful of people's time, and we have four minutes left. So get in those last minute questions. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.